Okay, it's after 5, so we are going to call to order the October meeting of the City of Moorhead Planning Commission and Board of Adjustments. Robin, can I get a roll call vote, please? I'm sorry, roll call, not a vote, just a roll call.
Nicole Matson.
Here.
Ben Hammer.
Here.
Oh, okay, there's Ben. Tim Stone. Tim Stone. I think you're on mute.
Tim, you're not on mute, but do you have, we can't hear you. You're not muted, but we can't hear you. Tim is present. I can see him.
How about a thumbs up?
Yeah.
Okay, Tim, how about a thumbs up?
He's here.
Okay. Steve Lindos.
I am here.
Jim Haney.
Here.
Okay, that's everybody. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move approval of agenda.
Mr. Haney, would you mind being the seconder tonight since Mr. Stone is unable to?
I would really like that. Thank you.
Okay,
Second.
but you have to. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Any discussion? Okay. Can I get a roll call vote on the motion to approve the agenda?
Matson.
Yes.
Hammer.
Yes.
Tim Stone. Steve Lindos.
Yes.
And Jim Haney.
Yes.
And Tim Stone did do a thumbs up just to put that on the audio recording.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I move approval of the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion or any changes to the minutes? Okay, doesn't sound like it. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Matson.
Yes.
Hammer.
Yes.
Stone. That's a Stone for the affirmative. Steve Lindos
Yes.
and Haney.
Yes.
Jim Haney. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Robin, are there any citizens to be heard on any items that are not on the agenda?
No, there is not. Christy, has anyone called in on any other items? No callers. No callers.
Okay. We are going to move on to our public hearing. I'm just going to go to my other screen. So this is a public hearing on the request of Enclave Development LLC for the following considerations at 828 and 900 30th Avenue South. A, rezone a portion of 828 and all of 900 30th Avenue South from RC Regional Commercial / Geo Gateway Overlay to RHD1 Residential High Density / Geo Gateway Overlay. And B, amend the comprehensive plan for the same area from regional commercial to high density residential. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing, please?
I move to open the public hearing to consider the aforementioned items.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion to open the public hearing? Hearing none, can I get a vote, please?
Matson.
Yes.
Hammer.
Yes.
Stone. Thumbs up in affirmative. Steve Lindos
Yes.
and Haney.
Aye.
Okay, Robin, can you explain to us what we're doing here this evening?
Certainly. Thank you, Chair Matson and Commissioners. Tonight we're here to discuss a rezoning and a comprehensive plan amendment for a portion of 828 and 930th Avenue South. And this project is for a a multifamily project that is proposing about 120 units. That is not, the plans aren't finalized yet. As staff was reviewing this item, it became apparent to me that the requested rezoning it could work, but I think a mixed use rezoning would have been more appropriate. So we did discuss it with the applicant and they agreed. So in this case, the advertised public hearing, staff is recommending the Planning Commission deny both actions, recommend to the council denial of both actions, and that will close out this item and basically stop the clock for the statutory time limit. We, once that's done, then we can discuss the project further with the revised application. And we have not received any public comments to date.
Thank you, Robin. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for Robin on any of that? It does not appear that we do. Okay, so then can we get a motion to close the public hearing?
I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Any discussion? Can I get a vote on the motion to close the public hearing, please?
Mattson?
Yes.
Hammer?
Yes.
Stone? That's a thumbs up in the affirmative. Lindos?
Yes.
And Haney?
Aye.
Okay, we're going to take two votes now, one on the motion to, one on the recommendation for the rezoning, and then one on the amendment of the comprehensive plan, correct, Robin?
Correct.
Okay, so if we look at page 6 of our packet, if I could get a motion to recommend denial of the rezoning.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
Do.
Just to note that in addition to the no public comment prior to the meeting, that we did not have any callers for this public hearing tonight.
Thank you. Okay, can I get a motion to recommend denial of the rezoning, please?
I move recommending denial of the rezoning from regional commercial geo gateway overlay to RHD1 residential high density geo gateway overlay.
Okay.
Jim, did you, were you saying something that I interrupted?
I said I second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? Can I get a vote on the motion, please?
Mattson?
Yes.
Hammer?
Yes.
Stone? Thumbs up in the affirmative. Lindos?
Yes.
And Haney?
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes. And then can I get a motion on the comprehensive plan amendment, please?
I move to recommend denial of the comprehensive plan amendment from regional commercial to high density residential.
I second.
Any discussion? Can I get a vote on that, please?
Mattson?
Yes.
Hammer?
Yes.
Stone? Thumbs up in the affirmative. Lindos?
Yes.
And Haney?
Yes.
Okay. So those motions have passed. So now our next order of business is just to discuss the revised application, and are we making recommendations on the revised application?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So while I was reviewing the site plan, I noticed a few things, and the RHD1 district is a bit more restrictive when it comes to impervious and setbacks and other things. And because this is going to be an entire redevelopment plan, so we are looking at just the portion of 828 and 900. And what the Planning Commission is not aware, staff has been talking about this quadrant along with the other 3 quadrants of I-94 for our upcoming comprehensive plan update. And we have actually been discussing that this item, or this area, these 4 quadrants of the I-94 Highway 75 corridor may be better suited to be mixed use areas to make them more marketable. And then maybe we can get rid of some of these empty big boxes and strip malls. So looking at the MU3 district, which is a commercial mixed use district, we've got, you know, a lot of that downtown and a few other spots throughout Moorhead. It's definitely, it doesn't have the impervious level limits, and it also is a little more lenient on setbacks. So once we have some discussions with the applicant, they have not submitted a final site plan, so we can take a look at that, and it may offer opportunity to add additional parking or amenities to the site. So the difference between the 2 applications is very little. If we would have rezoned it RHD1, it would be very similar to a mixed use, because RC and CC and RHD1 are in this entire area. So it's already a mixed use district. It just won't specifically be, we're recommending that it specifically be rezoned a mixed use district. As I stated previously, the plan is for over 120 units. Derek LaPointe will talk about the TIF plan and the redevelopment plan later in the meeting. And they are proposing some about 25 affordable multifamily units for this project. So that is great for Moorhead. As I said also previously, we will satisfy the public hearing requirement for this item at the October 26th City Council meeting. So this item will be advertised in next week's FM Extra, and then I will also be sending out the public hearing notices again to the adjacent properties within 350 feet, so they are notified of the change. I would be happy to answer any questions. And also the applicant is on the phone, so if you have any specific questions that I cannot answer, they certainly could answer as well.
Thank you, Robin. Do we want to hear from the applicant first before we raise any questions that we have? If I could have the applicant, just if there's anything you'd like to let the commission know about, we'd be happy to hear about it right now. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're really excited about this this project. What's before you tonight is for the multifamily portion of the project. City staff's been very good in working with us on trying to be creative to find a way to redevelop that corner. And one of the ways that we found that was going to work was for us to do a housing TIF. It wasn't our first choice, but we're excited about the project and excited about the site. So we all got a little creative in how we put it together. Certainly able to answer any questions that anybody might have, and look forward to getting the project started.
And Madam Chair, just for point of order, that was Brian Bachman speaking, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Just for the minutes.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant?
I'd like to.
Oh, go ahead, Jim. Mr. Haney, go ahead.
Mr. Bachman, I'm very pleased that this project is moving forward like this. This is a wonderful project. Thank you.
So I did have a question. I don't know that much about TIF projects, and I've heard kind of both sides of why they're good and why they're sometimes problematic. But One question, one thought I had about this particular project is and maybe you can confirm this for me. It seems unlikely to me that without the TIF piece of this project, that it's not likely that there would be so many affordable housing units in this building. Do you think, is that an accurate assumption?
Yes, that's correct. We would, honestly, to be completely honest, without the TIF, the entire project doesn't work. Just the cost of the plan and of acquisitions and redevelopment costs being so high, it doesn't work at all. So yeah, the only reason that we have the affordable units in it is because of the affordable housing TIF. There's actually two different types of TIF that you can get. You can get a redevelopment TIF, which is really more towards what we're doing. But because of the tax base that was already on that corner, the housing TIF worked better. And to do that, we had to have 20% of our units set at a 60% AMI. So it certainly will help because it does bring 25 units of affordable housing into the area. So we're hoping that can help the community as well.
Thank you very much for that. Any other commissioners have any other questions for the applicant? Steve Lindas.
Chair Mattson, I don't think you can see when I raise a hand, right? Probably Robert can. You can. Okay, so that's good for me to know forward that I should wave my hand instead of just electronically raise it. But Mr. Bachman, thank you very much for actually working with staff to develop this. This is kind of exciting. I really like sort of the idea of mixed use, having housing along with all the different types of businesses that can then come in and enhance the area. I love the idea of having a dog park there, knowing that people oftentimes have pets, and it's good to let them have a space for their pets to play. I was kind of looking at, and I don't see any solution. That's not really the point, but I guess there is green space around the building. But one of the things is, what can the city do, or what can you do to try to provide green space for the residents there? And I don't know if that's been something you've thought of.
There is quite a bit of green space actually around the building. That's just the apartment project part of it is like 4.4 acres. And with the underground parking, it does, because most of the parking is underground on this. We have a few, we couldn't quite get to a 1-to-1 underground parking ratio. So that's why we do have a few above ground garage units, just to make sure that we had adequate covered parking. But there is quite a bit of green space there, and we will program some of it with, amenities and, like I said, whether, dog parks, and we also always have outdoor activity areas and, gaming areas and areas that you can walk and so on. So I think that there's some things that we can do. The EDA had brought up some questions on, could the parks group want to maybe do something around that retention area where they have a walking area or something. And we basically said that we're certainly open to working with the city on, how we can try to make those things as community friendly as we can.
That sounds fantastic. Just finding synergistic ways to improve the quality of life for everyone is so important. And you've intrigued me about including the extra drawings about the redevelopment of the retail space, especially with little cars in different areas. And I thought, that looks like it might be a coffee shop. And I know that's to come, so we don't have to discuss it right now, but you have intrigued me.
No, I appreciate you not asking, so I don't have to say I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Chair Mattson, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lindas. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to ask the applicant? Does not sound like it. Robin, do we have any citizens who would like to be heard either for or against this item? You're muted.
I pushed unmute and it didn't work. We do not have any additional callers or any callers at this time.
Okay, so I think then what you would like us to do then is move to recommend approval on these items. Is that where we're at?
Madam Chair, that is correct. So as I mentioned, this is not a public hearing, so you're just going to be making individual votes on item, the revised application on item A and item B.
Okay, so if we look at page 6 on the commission action and suggestions, if I could get a motion to approve item 2A.
So I recommend approval of the rezoning from RC Regional Commercial and Gateway Overlay to mixed use Gateway Overlay.
Second that motion.
Great. Any discussion? Okay, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Matheson,
Yes.
Hammer,
Yes.
Stone. Thumbs up in the affirmative from Stone. Lindos,
Yes.
Haney.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. And then can I get a motion on the amendment to the comprehensive plan, please?
Recommend approval of the comprehensive plan amendment from regional commercial to mixed use.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? Okay, can I get a roll call vote on that, please?
Matheson,
Yes.
Hammer,
Yes.
Stone. Thumbs up in the affirmative for Stone. Lindos
Yes.
and Haney.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes as well. Robin, did you get everything that you needed from us?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have everything.
Okay, great. Then we're going to move on to other business. And the item is A Street Redevelopment Housing Tax Increment Financing Plan.
Madam Chair, I'm going to let Derek LaPointe from Downtown Moorhead Inc. Present this item. And he, along with the applicants, are available for your questions.
Thanks, Robin, and thanks, Madam Chair. And for those of you that don't know, I've interacted with all of you, but I do economic development for the city under contract, so do have that tie to the city. Very excited to bring this project forward. So much of it has already been discussed as Brian and of you have all asked questions, but this is an extremely visible corridor with lots of traffic going up and down 8th and 94. We're excited for Enclave to really bring forward a strong project that not only increases our housing base in this area, but also in turn redevelops a much needed commercial corridor. As Brian mentioned, so much of that commercial corridor isn't public yet as far as the tenants, but much of our thinking and the way we're progressing with this plan is the creation of the housing TIF district, but also a master developer agreement that ties in the commercial redevelopment too. That will come at a later date. So tonight, what you are voting on is basically the alignment with the city's goals of the creation of the housing district. That is a statutory requirement. We do have recommendation from the Economic Development Authority that happened on Monday. The next step is Planning Commission. And then ultimately we bring that recommendation to City Council on October 26th for final approval of that creation of the TIF district. Again, there's other steps that come into play with the master developer agreement that the city attorney is drafting. There's notices to the county and to the school district that have happened because TIF obviously works with incentives that alter, local, county, and school district taxes. So all of the necessary parties are required and notice via statutory requirements. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, but I think most of the project's been discussed at length, but ultimately, just really, really excited to see this project move forward, and we hope to continue to progress towards approvals. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lapointe. Does anybody have any questions? Mr. Lindas, do you have your hand up? Go ahead. You're muted. Oh, am I muted too?
Okay, sorry. So Mr. Lapointe, I guess one of the questions I had is the extent of and plan for future. I mean, we have 4 quadrants in this area, and kind of how or what you might have been thinking about for TIFs in different areas.
Well, it's a really good question, Councilmember Lindas. I think a lot of it is really dictated on the investment, right? So we're thankful that Enclave is coming forward. This area is very, very complex. There's about 6 different banks involved. You can imagine the complexities that this developer is trying to go through to kind of navigate the deal. We have interest from other developers in some of the other areas, but these corridors are tricky. Obviously, directly to the west of there is the old hotel. That's a large building with its own unique challenges. So it really just depends on the needs and what that developer is ultimately looking to do. And there's lots of different TIFs within the state of Minnesota, as Brian kind of alluded to, whether it's the housing TIF that the Enclave's ultimately going through on this one, or a redevelopment TIF that may look at removing structures and putting structures back up. So it really varies, and ultimately depends on the interest from the private development community and how we can facilitate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It also points to the complexity of getting these things pushed forward, and why it's useful to have individuals focused on that effort.
Any other questions for Derek? It does not sound like it. So, Robin, what you need from us is just a resolution finding that the TIF plan conforms to the general plans for the development and redevelopment of the city, correct?
Correct, Madam Chair. So on the last page of your packet is the resolution language, and you can take a look at that and make a motion that the Planning Commission finds that the redevelopment plan for 8th Street redevelopment, et cetera, that you can use that exact language in the motion.
Okay, I get a motion to that effect.
So I move that the Planning Commission finds that the redevelopment plan for 8th Street redevelopment housing project and a tax increment financing plan for tax increment financing housing district number 29, the 8th Street redevelopment housing project, conforms to the general plans for the development and redevelopment of the city.
And I second that.
Okay, any discussion? All right, hearing none, can I get a roll call vote on that motion?
Mattson?
Yes.
Hammer?
Yes.
Stone? Thumbs up in the affirmative. 2 thumbs up in the affirmative. Lindas?
Yes.
And Haney?
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr. Lapointe, for your attendance and for your work on this.
Thank you very much.
Robin, any other reports or information?
Madam Chair, I do not have anything additional.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move adjournment.
Second.
Okay, there's no debate on that. Can I get a roll call vote?
Madam Chair, you do not need a roll call vote.
Every time I do this. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. Great meeting. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Good to see people.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.